Death Valley Days.
Throughout the recorded history of heroism and bravery in the Old West, there exist hundreds of stories of such famed military figures as George Custer, Leonard Wood, Phil Kearny, Winfield Scott. But one man whose name has a very special place among those who have won this country's highest award for valor has all but been forgotten. This is his story, the story of Lieutenant Bernard Irwin, a young medical officer who emigrated from Ireland to New York and then, as a member of the U.S. Army, was sent to the frontier, to the territory now known as Arizona. In 1861, Dr. Irwin fought the legendary Indian leader Cochise and became the hero of Apache Pass.
Sure is quiet today. Seems almost too quiet.
No more so than any other day, Horace. It's always quiet around here. I wish things would liven up a bit sometimes, just to break the monotony.
Where's Timmy?
He's playing over by the corral.
Well, I got a few chores for him to do. Timmy!
Timmy!
Is she gonna be all right?
Oh, she's fine. She'll be unconscious for a while. But I'm afraid she's going to carry the scar from that Apache knife for the rest of her life. She's lucky to still have her arm. In fact, you're both lucky. If Lieutenant Bascom's patrol hadn't come along when it did, you'd both be dead by now.
Lucky? My boy kidnapped by the Chiricahuas, my ranch burned to the ground, my cattle sold, my wife slashed by an Apache, and you say we're lucky?
Oh, you're still alive, Mr. Stoner. That makes you pretty lucky.
But what about my boy? Is he still alive?
Lieutenant Bascom will bring him back, don't worry.
But where is he? Why ain't he back by now?
He's only been gone half a day. Relax, everything's going to be okay.
Oh, he should have been back by now. How long does it take the army to catch up with a bunch of savages? Them red devils hadn't taken my horses, I'd have gone after them. I would have had Timmy by now, too.
What happened at your place, Mr. Stoner?
Oh, the same thing that happens to all of us settlers that count on the army for protection. The Apaches were on a cattle raid. Timmy was playing down by the corral when they came sneaking through the draw. They got him first and then spooked my cattle.
And your wife?
Well, she ran out of the house just as the one carrying Timmy rode by. She grabbed at his reins and tried to pull Timmy out of his arms. He slashed her with a knife and then kicked her to the ground.
Why do you suppose they'd want the boy? What good can he be to them?
Why? Lieutenant, do you know anything about Apaches?
No, I'm afraid I don't really. I've only been out here a couple of months. I lived most of my life back east.
Well, then I guess it's a good thing that you're a doctor. You wouldn't last too long fighting Apaches. See, the reason they kidnapped Timmy was so that they could ransom him back for guns and food and cattle. Anything except money. They've got no use for coins and paper dollars.
Horace?
Yeah, we're here, Marie.
Where's Timmy? Is he all right?
Don't try to talk, Mrs. Stoner. I want you to rest a while.
I want Timmy. I want to see my baby.
Now, it's fine, honey. Don't worry. They'll be bringing him home any minute now.
Corporal the guard. Man running hard to port.
Corporal Pitts, sir.
What is it?
It's Cochise, sir. He surrounded Lieutenant Bascom in Apache Pass.
What?
It was an ambush.
How did it happen?
We found Cochise up in the mountains, not far from his village. Lieutenant Bascom felt that he had the Stoner child with him. He demanded that the Apache return him. Cochise refused. When the lieutenant threatened to put him under arrest, he and his men made a bold dash for it, and they escaped. We trailed him as far as Apache Pass. They were waiting for us in the rocks when we got there. Some of the men didn't have a chance.
What about Bascom and the rest of the men?
There were quite a few casualties, sir. I would have been one myself, except that I was in back of the troops trailing them. They need help bad, sir. Cochise has them in a trap. Our men are pretty well hidden, but they can't get out. Every time one of them raises his head, the Apaches spot them. Just as soon as they run out of ammunition. And that won't be long. Cochise will move in, and he'll take his time killing them.
Did you see my boy? Did you see Timmy?
No, sir. Not a sign of him. But I feel quite certain that he's in Cochise's village.
Lieutenant Bascom, is he all right?
I don't know, sir. Sir, I'm ready to guide a troop back to the pass. Anytime you give the order.
There will be no troop going back.
Sir?
I can't spare any men. The fort's at minimum security now. There is a large contingent of troops on its way here, but they're almost 3 days away.
Begging a colonel's pardon, sir. But Lieutenant Bascom can't hold out for 3 days. The Apache are chewing him up good and proper.
If I sent more than 4 men out of here, we'd be laying the fort wide open for an attack. The chiefs would send in his Chiricahuas and wipe out the whole settlement. I can't risk the civilian lives for the sake of soldiers.
Colonel, sir, I'm expendable. Let me take those 4 men and get to Bascom.
5 men against Cochise. That's gallant, but stupid, Irwin. No, you stay here with your pills.
But they're wounded men up there, sir. They need me. And my pills.
With me, there'd be 6 men.
You, Mr. Stoner. No, you're a civilian. I can't risk your life.
Oh, but I know this country, Colonel. I know it well, and I know how the Apache mind works. Irwin can use me. Besides, you're not sending me. I'm volunteering.
With Corporal Pitts, that makes 7 of us, sir.
It just wouldn't work. It'd be a waste of human life. I thought there was a chance.
Oh, there is a chance, sir. I know it. If you just let me try.
Irwin, you're just not experienced enough to lead a troop. Not out here. Not against an old fighter like Cochise. You're used to a surgeon's scalpel, not a cavalry saber.
May I remind the colonel that I have a commission which says I'm a first lieutenant in the United States Army. And to get that commission, I took certain prescribed military courses to enable me to serve my country as a soldier, as well as a doctor.
All right, Lieutenant. Pick your volunteers, but get the most expendable men in the fort.
Yes, sir.
And remember, your mission, your only mission, is to aid Lieutenant Bascom. Nothing at all must interfere with that, you understand?
Yes, sir.
But what about my boy, Colonel? What about Timmy? Bascom didn't get him. Somebody's got to. We've got to.
I'm sorry, Mr. Stoner, but there's too much at stake here to risk everything for the life of one child. I'm sincerely sorry, but that's the way it must be. If you'd rather not volunteer, well, under the circumstances, I'd understand.
No, I'll go along with Irwin.
I must warn you, however, that you will be under Lieutenant Irwin's orders at all times. Your civilian status won't matter once you leave this fort. Until you return, you are under the Army's command. If you disobey an order, the Lieutenant Irwin has the authority to shoot you. Is that perfectly clear?
Yes, sir. That's clear enough.
Good luck, Lieutenant.
Thank you, sir.
But you can't leave him to die out there. Please don't leave him there. Oh, God, oh, dear God.
Mrs. Stoner, you're in no condition to be out here. Please, go back inside.
My Timmy, my little Timmy. Please, Lieutenant, please bring him back.
Now, don't you worry, honey. We'll bring Timmy back. You can count on it. You sure picked yourself a crew, Lieutenant. Are they supposed to be soldiers?
Well, the colonel told me to get the most expendable men at the fort. I guess I did. Cook's helper, the bugler, the supply clerk, and a man who volunteered if I'd get him out of the guardhouse. All right, let's move out. Hey!
About 5 more miles, sir, that way.
All right, let's get with it, lads.
Lieutenant, wait.
What is it, Stoner?
The colonel was right. 7 of us are no use against all of them Apaches. We're gonna get ourselves killed, and for no reason.
You want to go back?
No, I want to get my boy before it's too late. Look, Pitts here can show us to the village. There's gonna be nobody there now except some squaws and children. We could get him easy.
I'm sorry, Stoner. Our destination is Apache Pass. When we're finished there, we'll see about your boy.
You're a fool, Irwin, but not me. I'm not gonna see my boy die because of you. I'm gonna get him while there's still time.
You have your choice. Go with us or remain here, 6 feet under.
Forward! Ho!
How many do you figure are there?
I count at least 10, but I know there must be more.
Can pick them off good from here. Pitts, you could take those 3 down there on the left. Irwin can take care of another couple, and I'll get the rest of them.
I'm in command here, Stoner. I give the orders, and I say killing those 10 won't do any good.
Killing Apaches is always good.
We'd only spook them into hiding, and I don't want that. Which way is Bascom's troop?
Over there, beyond the entrance to the pass.
Come on. Well, Lieutenant Bascom's trapped, all right. And there are plenty of Apaches to keep him there, too.
Well, I told you that we couldn't do no good. Now, let's get out of here while we've still got time to get Timmy.
We're staying, Stoner. The 7 of us are the only chance Bascom and his men have for staying alive.
But there ain't enough of us. The minute those Apaches see us, we're goners.
Not if my plan works. Now, here's what we're going to do. I want every man up on that ridge. Spread out 10 to 15 feet apart. Now, bugler, when I give the signal, I want you to sound charge. When we hear the bugle, I want everyone to begin firing and shouting and yelling at the top of his lungs. I want Cochise to think there's a full regiment attacking him.
You think the 7 of us can fool him into thinking the army's here? Irwin, you're a bigger fool than I thought you were.
Shut up before every Indian in the territory knows we're here.
Oh, this is suicide. That plan wouldn't fool a rookie soldier, let alone Cochise. He knows more about fighting than the whole United States Army put together, and you think that you can outsmart him?
I said to keep your voice down.
Now, don't you tell me what to do. I'm through taking orders from you. You ain't gonna get me killed for nothing.
Corporal, get him up on the ridge and see that he does as ordered.
All right. Come on, mister.
Now, the rest of them. I want you to fire your rifles and your pistols at the same time. Try to hit as many Indians as you can. But most importantly, create as much noise and confusion as you can. Now, you stay down here and sound charge for about a minute. Then get up there and join the firing. Any questions? Right, lads, let's get to it.
Anybody's going to believe this, Bernard?
Believe what, George?
That an Irish doctor from New York outsmarted the greatest Apache chief in the territory?
Well, I hope you're satisfied, Owen. You let Cochise get away. Now he'll take his revenge out on Timmy. And you ain't never seen what Apaches can do to a white man's child when they're mad as you've made Cochise.
That's enough, Stoner. Whatever happens to your son is not the fault of Lieutenant Irwin. He was under orders.
Orders? What do orders mean to a mother who's lost her only child to a bunch of savages? Now listen, Irwin. When you get back to that fort, you tell my wife that Timmy died because you were under orders.
I know you won't believe this, Stoner. But finding your boy means as much to me as it does to you. I realize he may be dead. There's every chance he might still be alive. And when I finished here, we'll go find out.
What are you looking for, Irwin? A medal? It's too late for Timmy now. He's dead. I know it. You know it. And so quit trying to impress me.
Corporal Pitts.
Yes, sir?
Round of every man who can ride. I don't care whether he can fight, so long as he can stay on a horse. Be ready to move out. We're going after the Stoner child.
Yes, sir.
I think you're pushing your luck a little far, Bernard. Cochise may not fall for that same trick the second time.
If he knew he'd been fooled the first time, he'd have been back here by now. No, he still thinks a big force hit him. And when we get to his village, I still want him thinking that way.
Oh.
Good luck, Lieutenant. All right, Corporal. Move him out.
Forward. Ho!
The village is just over the ridge, sir.
Aye, there it is. It seems quiet enough. I wonder. Stoner, come here. Take a look.
Timmy. He's alive. They've got him tied up, but he's still alive.
I want all those who think they can ride a charge to move over here. Don't worry about being able to fire a weapon. The main requirement is that you're able to ride hard. The rest will remain in formation and in clear sight of the village. I want Cochise to think there's a reserve force waiting to come in on the second wave. Well, thanks for volunteering, Private, but you best stay here. You men remain in here. I want you to sit at attention and spread out. I want you to look bigger than you really are. For the rest of us, we'll ride into the village at full charge. At my signal, we'll begin firing and shouting.
And kill as many of those devils as you can.
Be careful who you kill, Stoner. And that goes for the rest of you, too. I don't want to see no women and children dead. Our fight is not with them.
Those children grow up to be braves, Lieutenant. If we don't kill them now, they'll kill us later.
You heard my orders. The first wave, move to attack formation. Ready, Corporal?
Ready, sir.
All right, Bugler. Let's hear charge one more time.
Timmy, you okay, son?
It worked, Lieutenant. It worked. I tell you.
Corporal, put a torch to the village. That ought to be less than enough for Cochise for one day. When you're finished here, herd Mr. Stoner's cattle back to the fort.
Yes, sir.
Lieutenant?
It's all right, Stoner. I understand. Well, Timmy, lad, I think your mother's waiting for you. What do you say we be going home?
I'd sure like that, sir.
All right, let's move out. Ho!
Lieutenant Bernard Irwin later became chief medical officer at West Point and eventually retired as a brigadier general. His daring rescue of Lieutenant Bascom and the Stoner child, which was his first and only military engagement, occurred almost a year before Congress created this country's highest military honor. But 33 years later, on January 21st, 1894, Irwin finally got his just reward. His act of bravery at Apache Pass enshrined him on the Army roll of history as the very first man to perform an heroic deed which later won a Congressional Medal of Honor. Next week, another true story from our American heritage. See you then.